Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. I'm Eric, but today I'm Grill Master Ebu. For Amy's birthday, I got her a Ninja Woodfire Grill, smoker, air fryer, and griddle. It does all kinds of things. We ain't used it yet until today. So we're gonna do a spare rib on it, right? I normally use Weber smokers with charcoal. I've never used pellet anything. I've never used a small griddle to do one of these things. Grill, whatever. So this will be interesting, to say the least. Should join me as we do our first cook doing a spare rib in the Ninja Woodfire. All right, so we have St. Louis style spare ribs here today. We didn't trim them. It came store-bought like that. What I am going to do is we're going to pull the membrane, right? We're pulling the membrane because it's chewy, it's kind of nasty. It can maybe prevent flavor from getting to the meat. You just want to get rid of it, right? But it's also kind of a pain to deal with. So sometimes you might want to, I don't know, get a knife to start it. We also have some wet paper towels. Those are a big help because it does get slippery. So now that I got a little bit exposed, I don't know, let's see if it wants to cooperate, right? Every animal is different. All right, I'm getting my thumb under it. 2 thumbs. Ooh, look at that, boo-boo.
Yeah.
We got this. Alright, so, aha, that's a good day. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut this guy off. It's got a bunch of this weird skin on it. Alright, so we're able to get the that silver skin off. I trimmed a little bit of the flap meat off. That was just a little disgusting, I guess. But I do need to cut this guy in half, roughly, because this grill cannot take a full slab like that. So this is...
You got a new knife?
Amy gave me a new knife because the other knife was a little on the dull side, so we will take care of that. So, I don't know, we got about like one little dinky bone. He almost doesn't count. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's about right. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah. So that cut. So, ooh, that's good enough for me. So let's get some seasonings on here. All right, now the fun part. We get to rub our meat. So what we're going to do is, since I'm old school, is we're going to just use some yellow mustard. If I can get it open. Okay. And we're going to do both sides. Oh, yeah. We're going to make a mess here. So we'll just do that first. And we're just basically rubbing this guy. You know, it might have tenderizing features in it. Who knows what it does? It just works magic, right? So we just pretty much get that. And I'll get on the other side in a second. Just gonna go ahead and get some rub on here. So once that's all pretty looking, and just use your favorite rub. It doesn't really matter what it is, right? They all got more or less the same ingredients: salt, sugar, paprika, spices, you know. Just make sure you get it on there liberally. All right, so he's on there. Oh, jeez. I think that's good, yeah. Just flip it over. And we'll do this again over here. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave the rub. I'm going to put this back in the fridge for about an hour. The idea is we want the flavors to get into the meat, but I don't want the salt from the rub to do horrible stuff to it, right? It's just a balancing act here. Even if you don't use the mustard, maybe use oil, or you just put it on the way it is, I still would recommend let it go in there. And then once maybe you see the moisture pop out a little bit, then you kind of know it's done. You know the juices of the meat have interacted with the salt in the rub. But I think about an hour we're good. So we'll be back when it's done. All right, let's put this pellets in here. So we've got this little cup. You just kind of pour it in there. You can also take this thing out if you want, if you don't want to do it this way. Looks like he's full, so let's get going. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn the smoker on. So turn up the smoker. It's at 250, which is what I want. We're going to do this part for 2 hours. I'll leave it at 4 because I really don't care. Turn it on. I would like to think that we're going to see smoke at some point. All right, it's only been a few minutes, and it's got a bunch of smoke in there. Yay. You can see we got quite a bit of smoke coming out the back, which is good. This is our first smoke. The control still says IGN for ignition, so it probably isn't up to temperature yet, but at least it is producing smoke. So we're going to go ahead and let it preheat, and then we'll be back. All right, this bad boy is smoking up to temp. Woo! Let's get some meat on here in a hurry. So we're going to go ahead and get that guy going sideways there. Yeah, I could use a little more rub, but I'm not worried, right? I'm going to be the judge anyways. It's going to pass, right? Pass. So, all right, so one slab fit in there. We just basically cut in half, right? So he's in there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to smoke this bad boy for about an hour. We're going to check on him, and then we'll let him go a second hour. So here we go. Bye.
Okay, so it's been about an hour and we have to refuel. You need to refuel these pellets like every hour because the smoke has really gone down. So we're going to go ahead and put some more pellets in here. Give us a little bit more smoke action. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to turn these ribs around. Woo! Look at that already. Looking good. They're cooking a lot faster. This is the first time we've actually used this cooker. So this is an experiment. They look pretty moist, but we are going to baste them in butter. Wow. The bird chirping up there likes it. He says, yeah. So we're going to close this down.
All right, I've never used this device before. Everybody just makes it sound like, oh, you just hit buttons and it magically works. My thoughts on this is the smoke ran out after probably 45 minutes. We came out at the hour mark and there was no smoke, and that's fine. We did all the flipping of the meat and everything. And I just want to get the smoke to start after we reloaded it. And I never get that IGN thing. People say, oh, you just hold it for like 3 seconds, it magically works. It didn't do anything. So I don't know if this works or not, but I pumped the temperature temporarily higher than the 250. So now it's almost like it has to preheat, right? Kind of like at the very beginning. And then when I hit the button, now we get the little IGN and stuff. Well, then I backed it back down to 250, which is where I want it. We did get the fan going, and we should be getting smoke at some point.
Oh, so it doesn't reignite unless it has to preheat.
I'm thinking, now there is something about sticker saying if you hold the start-stop for 4 seconds, it'll avoid a preheat. The thing is, when I want to start this smoking process and it's already up to temperature, I would like to know, is there an easy way to get it to do that? If anybody has this thing, please leave in the comments. Let me know how this thing works. Otherwise, I'll be trial and erroring on it.
Okay, so it's going to go another hour?
Yeah, well, now it's been in there for a few minutes, so I'm not going to cook it for a full hour. I'm probably going to let it go 45 minutes max.
And then are you going to foil it after this?
Yeah. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a liquid in there, probably apple juice, and we'll foil it. We'll do the Texas crutch, as they call it, and we'll let that go for an hour. And then we'll see how it is after that.
Okay, so we'll be back. So that seemed to work because we got smoke again. So yay!
All right, it's been a little while. Yay! So we're doing good here. They're looking good, about all I can say.
So you can use pretty much anything you want for the liquid on this part. You can use apple juice. You can use liquor.
Beer.
You can use beer. You could use whatever you want. You can probably even use water. That wouldn't be chicken broth, something like that. And so the ribs are back on here. You just want to wrap them pretty tightly so they'll braise. And down here, we're going to actually switch this to bake. Mm-hmm. And what temp are you going for, Boo?
Oh, geez. I'm going to go for 300. For an hour. See what an hour does.
So we'll be back in an hour.
So we are putting the ribs back on here. So basically I took the ribs out, and in fact I'll show you that they're done. And we're going to sauce them and put them on there for maybe 10 or 15 minutes a set. So let me get these bad boys back on here. We'll get some sauce on them. So let me step one here. How do you know when your ribs are done? If you have a full slab, you should be able to hold it in the middle and it'll bow. That means they're tender. We don't have a whole slab because we had to cut in half. So step two, take a toothpick and just go through the meat. Should go through gentle, right? Doesn't take too much effort. Kind of like, you know, I don't know, doing with a cake or something. So since I don't have to like force it through, I'm happy. Temperature-wise, maybe a little bit over 200 degrees, maybe, something like that. Now the fun part. So we're just gonna go ahead and sauce on. I'm not saucing both sides. I do have this thing meat side up. I did partly through my cook with the foil. I realized I had meat side up. So off camera, I just flipped upside down to make sure it's meat side down. So what I generally like to do is I generally like to cook my meat. What I like to do maybe is bone side up for the first part of the cook and keep it that way through the foil, and then flip it after the foil for this side. So this would be meat side up so we can sauce it and be done. I don't think it super matters, right? There's a bunch of other things in life that can really mess your barbecue up. Watching football and forgetting this thing's out here, having the temps too high, too much smoke, there's all kinds of stuff. So bone up, bone down, you know, it's up to you. Whatever works, whatever makes your family think you are the numero uno cook in the world. Keep doing what you're doing. So I think we're good. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this going for about maybe 10, 15 minutes till it sets, and then it's grub time. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at through these bones I just cut. Got a little cartilage, that's what that is. Got into the side of a bone there. What I don't really see is I don't see much of a smoke ring. We got a little coloration there, but I'm not really seeing this. So one of my main problems is when it comes to what I call low and slow normal barbecue, I like to cook my ribs, you know, using the 3-2-1 method. So basically 6 hours of cooking time, and you're giving it smoke for like 3 hours, right? At lower temperatures. Meat can only take so much smoke before it turns into creosote, so you gotta be careful. That thing out there is convenient and it's really easy, but we'll see how it tastes. So far,
I think 250 on there's probably not 250.
I really don't know. I mean, I've cooked on my Webers where I want 225 and it takes off and it's like 300. It is what it is, right? Barbecue is what it is. It's always an experience.
It just kind of looks over.
This thing was trying to maintain 250 for the couple of hours with the smoke and then the 300 with it in the foil. So we'll see if there's flavor, if there's any smoke, it just don't have a smoke ring. And then is it tender, right? So flavor, tender, and some smokiness. So that's ultimately. The looks just isn't normal. So the looks. If I'm a barbecue judge, the first thing you do is you judge with the looks. I'm not happy. Sorry. Sorry. Don't know what happened there. Just tastes weird.
I would not use this thing for ribs. The difficulty is when you do competition barbecue and you come to try to use one of these things, it's not right. There's
a learning curve. People who cook with Traegers and they love pellet cooking and they know how to use all that, that's good because they obviously are great cooks. This thing here is just different. I would probably say it's going to take some practice. You need to be conservative. Conservative with the heat, conservative with the amount of smoke you get, and also the sauce. We bought some sauce. It's not the best. The rib is tender, so I'll give it that. They're moist.
Yes.
Some of the flavor could be the choice of rub and the sauce, so it's not the machine's fault. I would say for a first cook, never using it before, doing what some people on the internet said, ditch the book and try it a different way. I mean, I've never cooked ribs at 300 degrees intentionally. I've never cooked ribs in 3 hours. So for a 3-hour rib, I just don't like these.
I would say the Ninja Woodfire on ribs is a go. I wouldn't waste ribs on there again.
There's some smoke. There's not an exorbitant amount. So at least we didn't turn them into creosote. If I had to judge this, that place in Memphis we went to with the Memphis style ribs, it's almost like that. When you cook these things too high of a temperature, it makes the crust a little too hard. It's just not tender enough. The butter has always worked in the past. Maybe you should spritz it more often. Maybe doing it after 1 hour is not enough. Maybe you need to spritz every half hour. Who knows? But they're moist. And they're relatively tender.
But they're not. Oh my God.
The bark on top. Normally, the good news is they're not fall off the bone tender. That's overcooked. That's horrible. You should be able to bite, give it a little tug, and pull it off. That would be ideal. These are all over the place. Unless I want to learn more on how to do them on that, I think I'll just stick to my Weber. And I'll try that thing to do chicken. Chicken's harmless, right, Boo?
Yeah.
I can't mess chicken up, I don't think.
I wouldn't waste a rack of ribs on the wood fire.
Ribs cost too much to waste them on that. So I'm sorry. Leave comments below and everything with your experience on it, what you've done to make these things so wonderful. Maybe I overlooked something easy, right? But I don't know. They're tasty enough. I mean, they're not going to go into the trash. I will eat them. But I'm not going to go say, oh my God, this is like the best ever, because it isn't. Oh.
Wah, wah, wah.
First cook had to be ribs. Maybe I should have done chicken, cheaper. I'm sorry for this ending with such a downer. I know you probably had hopes that this would turn out tasty and wonderful, and it didn't quite do it. But it is what it is. I do want to thank you for watching this video, and we will try chicken next time and see if we can have better luck.